Narcissists can make you doubt yourself. In this video, I'm going to go over why they do this, how they do this, and some ways that you may have learned to doubt yourself that you might not even be aware of. Welcome to Looking Behind the Mirror, where we explore narcissism and take our lives back as we make sense out of nonsense. As a quick disclaimer, everything I say is based on my opinions and my personal experiences. I'm not a professional, and if you're really struggling, I encourage you to seek professional help. I am providing links below for you. Narcissists can make you doubt yourself, first of all, because narcissists doubt pretty much everybody. Narcissists project their idea onto you of who they think you are, and they kind of force feed it to you. They pressure and coerce people into believing that they are what the narcissist thinks they are. Narcissists need you to be dependent on them, or they at least need you to feel inferior. They need you looking up to them for approval. They need you looking up to them for reassurance of who you are and what your motives are and what your identity is and if you're doing good enough or not, for basic approval in life. This might not be such a problem if they thought highly of you to begin with, but narcissists don't trust you. Narcissists don't trust anyone. So if you've been conditioned to look up to a narcissistic individual for your own self-worth and your own approval, you're looking up to someone that actually doesn't trust you. And you're looking up to someone that's going to pressure you into seeing all the ways that you can't be trusted. And this might be hard to understand for people that have never been manipulated in this way, or people that have a very strong sense of self. But narcissists take advantage of people that are vulnerable and people that maybe don't have the highest level of confidence in themselves. And narcissists have all kinds of ways of convincing people to drop their own idea of who they are and adopt the narcissist's idea. One simple tactic is that narcissists seem very confident. They seem adamant about how untrustworthy you are, or whatever characteristic it is they're trying to sell to you. They always deliver it with extreme confidence, and sometimes it's hard to look at them and look at their level of confidence and think that maybe they're completely off the mark, even if they're talking about you to you. And this can be so convincing that you might drop your own opinion of yourself in favor of theirs. And this is something that's done repetitively over and over again, and that makes it even harder to reject, especially if you're at all vulnerable and you're at all emotionally dependent on the narcissist. The relationship itself can become conditional upon your acceptance of the narcissist's idea of who you are. So you might adopt their ideas out of fear. If someone that you love and trust and feel an emotional or other type of dependence upon is insisting confidently to you over and over and over again that you are untrustworthy, or you are lying about things, or you are lazy, or you don't mean the things you say, you might actually start to believe them after a while. And for obvious reasons, this can cause huge problems with your self-esteem. This can become something that you start to do to yourself over time when you are constantly having to prove to someone over and over again that your experiences are what they are, that you do feel what you say you feel, that your motives are what they are, that you're not lying, that you're not making things up. When you have to constantly prove these things and you have to constantly deal with someone that's questioning everything you try to say, you can start to do it to yourself. If you are constantly being accused of being a drama queen, or you are constantly being told that if you cry, you must just be faking it, or if you cry, you must just be trying to manipulate people, you might yourself start to believe this, and you might start to do this to yourself. If you start to cry, for example, you might yourself start telling yourself that you're a drama queen, that it's really not that bad, that you're making a big deal out of nothing, that you're really just trying to get attention. This is what emotional abuse does to people. It separates them from themselves. It makes it hard to stay in touch with your own feelings, and it also makes it hard to feel your own feelings without feeling ashamed of them or feeling like you have to apologize for things that are important to you or things that are affecting you in certain ways. And eventually you end up feeling constant pressure, not just to prove your motives and your feelings to other people, but to prove them to yourself. If you're still in a relationship with a narcissistic person, they can keep reinforcing this train of thought by looking for evidence that you're faking things, that you're making a big deal out of nothing, that you can't be trusted. And the type of evidence that they look for can be used against you in ways that might actually convince you. They could say things like, you must be lying to me because look at that expression on your face. I can see it in your eyes that you're lying to me. Or, you don't care about me. If you actually cared about me, you'd already know my favorite brand of hamburger buns. You don't love me. If you really loved me, why would you still have this picture of your ex buried in your things? And wow, you only think about yourself. If you weren't so self-absorbed, you wouldn't just go to Starbucks and not call and ask me if I want something. And these little pieces of evidence can make you start wondering to yourself, oh, maybe he's right, or maybe she's right. Maybe I really don't care. Maybe I am self-absorbed. Maybe I am selfish. Maybe I don't really love him or her as much as I should. And all these little pieces of evidence start feeding back into the cycle I was talking about earlier, where you're constantly questioning yourself and putting pressure on yourself to prove to yourself that you really are feeling and meaning the things that you think that you feel and mean. It creates a situation in which you don't trust your own self. This can ultimately lead to a place where even years after you've been out of a relationship with a narcissistic person, you still feel uncomfortable and unworthy sharing your feelings with people, or you might feel afraid to do so. You might be automatically expecting everyone around you to question your motives or to call you a drama queen, and you might even believe in that a little bit. You might feel like you're not worthy of sharing your feelings, like you don't deserve sympathy, or you don't deserve for somebody else to take time out of their day to listen to the struggles that you're having. And this isn't just done with your feelings and your motives. Narcissists can make you doubt all kinds of things about yourself. Narcissists are really going to find anything about you that might make them feel threatened, which are things that they perceive might make you feel like you're better than them. So this could be trustworthiness, but it could be traits. It could be intelligence, maybe how efficient you are or how organized you are. Narcissists might convince you that you're rude or that you're stupid or you're selfish or that you're lazy or difficult or hard to get along with. They could also cause you to question your talents because, of course, if you're very talented in any certain area, they could find that very threatening to their ego. They might find ways to make you doubt your own talents by criticizing you. They could criticize you in creative ways, and they could also use triangulation to convince you of all these things by either telling you about things that other people are saying about you or just making things up that other people have said about you. Bottom line for a narcissist is they need you to doubt yourself because they need you to look to them for your sense of identity. They need you looking up to them, and they need you to stay dependent on them. They can't have you feeling confident in your own identity. They can't have you feeling like you have a good handle on who you are and how you feel, because if you're a confident, healthy individual, you're going to be Hi, Lucy. You're going to be much harder to manipulate. Hi. Where was I? If you're a healthy, confident individual, you're going to be a lot harder to manipulate. And when they start to treat you abusively, you're probably going to leave much more quickly if you have a good sense of self. Of course, it goes without saying that your feelings are valid. And if you've ever cried alone in a room and felt like a phony to yourself by yourself, crying alone in a room, then this is probably what I'm talking about. It really doesn't make any sense to be crying to yourself to try to convince yourself of your own feelings and not actually mean anything that you're trying to convince yourself of. And if this makes any sense to you, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Narcissists and other emotionally abusive people can really mess with your head to the point where you can't even cry tears alone to yourself, without wondering if you don't have some kind of ulterior motive. I hope that if this is the situation that you're in, that you can find people around you that are caring and loving and will listen to you and will help you to validate your own feelings without reinforcing this toxic habit of questioning your own motives. And of course, if you're really struggling with this, it can really help to find a professional therapist to work this out through. This is something that you can undo. This is something you can unlearn. You can learn to trust your own feelings again, and you can learn to build a healthy sense of self where you know what your traits are. You know that you're a trustworthy person. You know that you mean what you say. Just because you've undergone this kind of emotional abuse doesn't mean that you have to spend the rest of your life questioning yourself and trying your hardest to prove to your own self that you really mean all the things that you say. I hope this helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment below any ideas you have for me for future videos. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like this video and would like to see more like it in the future. Until next time, thanks. Bye.